Hello, welcome to Science Reimagined. Let's go take a look at today's video.
Alright, today we're going on a grand tour, but this isn't your average textbook trip. Nope, we're about to take a sensory journey through our solar system, starting way out at the darkest, coldest edge and flying all the way into its blazing heart. Let's get started. Seriously, just for a second, forget the facts and figures. I want you to really imagine it. What would the sky actually look like? What would the ground feel like? How would a different gravity completely change the way you move? That's the real question we're diving into today. We're going to explore the raw physical experience of being there. You know, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The solar system is packed with remarkable sights, and we're about to see them up close and personal. From silent, frozen giants to worlds that are basically rocky infernos, every planet offers a totally different reality. Our journey kicks off in the deep, dark void, where our sun is just another bright star in the sky. So first up is the realm of the ice giants. These aren't just cold planets. They're worlds built from exotic ices, under crushing pressures, with some of the most extreme weather you can possibly imagine. We're starting at the very last stop in the system, the deep blue world of Neptune. Okay, picture yourself here, standing on some futuristic platform floating in Neptune's upper atmosphere. The very first thing you'd notice is the dark. I mean, it's dark. Out here, high noon is just a dim twilight. The sunlight is 900 times weaker than on Earth, so everything is cast in this permanent deep sea gloom. And the cold, it's a biting cold that would feel like it's sinking right through your suit. We're talking minus 200 degrees Celsius. All around you, just this terrifying, beautiful swirl of dark blue clouds and massive, mysterious storms. But honestly, the dark and the cold would be the least of your problems. You see this number? 2,100 kilometers per hour. That is the speed of Neptune's winds. They are by far the fastest in the entire solar system. We're talking supersonic. These winds just scream across the planet and they would tear any ship, let alone a person, to absolute shreds in an instant. It is the most violent, wind-blasted place we know of. Let's move a little closer to home, to our next stop, Uranus. Now, if you landed on one of its moons, you'd be treated to one of the most bizarre sights in the entire cosmos. Uranus is famous for being knocked over on its side, tilted by a wild 98 degrees. So from where you're standing, its dark, dusty rings wouldn't be horizontal. Nope, they'd be spinning vertically, like a colossal, silent Ferris wheel against the pale cyan sky. And because of that crazy tilt, you'd have to endure 42 straight years of daylight, immediately followed by 42 years of pitch-black darkness. And if that view wasn't strange enough for you, what's going on deep inside Uranus is even more alien. Far, far below those clouds, the pressure is so immense that it literally squeezes carbon atoms out of the methane. And the result? It rains diamonds. Scientists think that enormous gems, maybe even miles across, are constantly forming and sinking down through the planet's slushy, icy interior. Just imagine a hidden treasure of unimaginable scale. All right, we're leaving the ice giants in our rearview mirror and heading further inward, crossing into the territory of the real titans of our solar system. We are now entering the realm of the gas giants, Saturn and Jupiter, worlds defined by pure scale, legendary storms, and just overwhelming power. Now, when you visit the Saturn system, the most mind-blowing sensory experience isn't on the planet itself, but on its largest moon, Titan. Here, the atmosphere is actually thicker than Earth's, but the gravity is super low. And that combination is just perfect for human flight. Just like in this image, you could literally strap on a pair of wings, and with just the power of your own arms, you could soar through the thick, hazy golden sky over lakes of liquid methane. I mean, can you imagine a more freeing, dreamlike experience anywhere else? Next stop, the king, Jupiter. Dropping into its atmosphere would be an experience of pure, terrifying grandeur. But the soundscape, that's what's truly alien. Now, you wouldn't hear sound like we do, but Jupiter is still considered the loudest planet. Its giant magnetic field traps particles and creates these intense radio waves. If you converted them to audio, they'd sound like creepy whistles and crackling choruses. It's a symphony of raw electromagnetic power. And as you go deeper, the pressure becomes, well, it's just impossible to comprehend. But to try and put it in perspective, think about this. Deep down near Jupiter's core, the pressure is the same as having 160,000 cars stacked on top of every single square inch of your body. It's a force so extreme, it crushes elements into states we can barely create on Earth, like liquid metallic hydrogen. It's a world that would simply, utterly annihilate you. Okay, we survived the giants. Now we're crossing the asteroid belt and heading into the inner solar system. This is where we find the terrestrial planets, worlds with solid ground, rock, and dust. They might seem a bit more familiar, but each one offers a sensory experience that is still profoundly alien. Welcome to Mars. The first thing you'd notice isn't the red dust, it's the feeling of lightness. With just about a third of Earth's gravity, your whole sense of how to move would be thrown off. Walking would feel clunky and slow. Instead, just like the Apollo astronauts figured out on the moon, you'd find a new way to get around, a sort of loping, bounding bunny hop. It would feel more natural, and it'd be the best way to explore this new world. And then you'd look up, and the sky would be completely wrong. See, on Earth, our atmosphere scatters blue light, so our sky is blue. On Mars, all that fine iron oxide dust in its thin air does the opposite. It scatters the redder light. The result? A pale pink, maybe butterscotch-colored sky during the day. But at sunset, when the sun's light has to travel through even more of that dust, the blue light scatters through, creating these hauntingly beautiful, vivid blue sunsets, the exact reverse of what we see at home. You know, our perception of Mars isn't just shaped by physics, it's also shaped by our imagination. For centuries, we dreamed of this vibrant, living world with incredible engineered canals, a far cry from the cold, dry desert we know today. That whole history adds another layer to what it would feel like to be there. It's a world that feels both totally alien and, because of all those old dreams, kind of familiar.
All right, let's jump to the next world, Mercury, the closest planet to the sun. The experience here is all about brutal, stark contrasts. Because there's basically no atmosphere, the sky is always pitch black. But dominating that blackness is the sun, and it looks almost 3 times bigger and is just blindingly intense. And time would feel completely warped. A single day, just from one sunrise to the next, lasts for 176 Earth days.
That lack of an atmosphere also creates the most violent temperature swings anywhere. During that long, long day, the surface heats up to a blistering 430 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt lead. But the second the sun sets and that long night begins, with no atmospheric blanket to trap the heat, the temperature plummets to a cryogenic minus 180 Celsius. It's a world of fire and ice, all in the same place. And now we've reached our final 2 destinations. These are 2 planets so similar in size, they're called twins. But their fates could not be more different. One is a paradise, the other is a vision of hell. We're comparing our home, Earth, with its terrifying twin, Venus. Just look at how these twin planets diverged. Venus is almost exactly the same size as Earth, but it's a total runaway greenhouse effect nightmare. Its thick CO2 atmosphere has trapped so much heat that the surface is a constant 460 degrees Celsius everywhere, and the pressure is 92 times what it is on Earth. That's like being almost a full kilometer deep in the ocean. You would be simultaneously cooked, crushed, and corroded. And if you could somehow survive down there, even the simple act of talking would be alien. The atmosphere on Venus is so dense, it's almost like a liquid. Sound would travel differently. It would feel thick, heavy. All that resistance would actually make your vocal cords vibrate more slowly, causing your voice to drop to a noticeably lower, deeper pitch. The very air itself would change your physical reality. But here's the twist. While the surface of Venus is a complete hellscape, high up in the clouds, it's a totally different story. About 50 kilometers up, the temperature and pressure becomes surprisingly Earth-like. You hit this sweet spot with comfortable temperatures and a familiar 1 bar of pressure. This has led scientists to imagine the incredible idea of cloud cities, huge floating habitats where humans could actually live.
And finally, we're home. After seeing all of those insane extremes, you're reminded why we call Earth the Emerald Standard. That glorious blue sky we take for granted, the feeling of liquid water, the perfect gravity that keeps our bones strong. Our world is one of sensory harmony, a delicate balance that provides the perfect baseline for life. Every single alien world we've just visited only hammers home how unbelievably precious and unique our own planet really is.
Our journey is complete. From the supersonic winds of Neptune all the way to the hellish surface of Venus, we've seen how physics and chemistry create this incredible diversity of realities. Each one challenges our senses and our very idea of what a world can even be. It's a powerful reminder of our place in this vast, remarkable solar system.
So, I'll leave you with one final thought. After imagining flying on Titan, bunny hopping on Mars, and seeing the vertical rings of Uranus, what simple, everyday sensation here on Earth do you now cherish the most?
Is it the feeling of rain on your skin, the warmth of the sun, or maybe just the simple act of taking a deep breath of fresh air? Thanks for coming